Hello everyone. Hi, I'm Arian and I'm from Afghanistan, and I grew up in a Muslim family, and as I get older I wanted to learn more and more about religion. And I wouldn't be hypocrite, I knew that Muhammad married Aisha when she was just a child, but my excuse was like, it happened thousands of years ago, who cares, it doesn't affect our life today. And he says to pray and fast, and everybody in my family is following him, so he must be good. And I loved God and I wanted to be close to him, so I did everything I could as a good Muslim. So I would pray as many times as I could in a day, and I would fast in the Ramadan, and I would read Quran. And not just in Arabic, I've read Quran 6 times in English, and I wanted to understand and follow it. And that was the course of my action. Fast forward to 2015, and now I'm working in the IT department for an independent newspaper company, and I'm doing the coding, the website and coding, that's my job. But whenever I had free time, I would just read the news, and then I come across this news article that changed my life. And before I get into details of that, I apologize now that some of the details are upsetting. So the news was that this Turkish child bride, and this man marries off his 9-year-old daughter to his friend who's 40-something. There is the nikah, which is like Islamic marriage contract. And as a meher, because in Islam there is a meher muajjal, which you take like instant meher, and then there is another meher if you divorce the wife, that's the other money you pay her. So he takes the instant meher from him, does the marriage, but the problem is that little girl, she dies. She starts bleeding on the wedding night. They took her to the hospital. The bleeding doesn't stop, and that's where she dies. And the hospital informs the media and the police, otherwise these news never get out. So I read this news and my blood is boiling. I'm so furious. I'm like, how dare this man put the life of that child in danger? And I'm thinking, but when I just don't like pointing fingers at other people, I also like to reflect on myself. How did he do it? What's the difference between me and this guy? According to the post-mortem report, they found a lot of stress hormone in that child. First, separation from the parents, and then being with this monster. She was crying and screaming, but he didn't stop. And I'm thinking, how did he do it? What's the difference between me and this guy? And turns out to be there is not much difference between me and the father of this girl. He follows Muhammad, and he married the child. I follow the same Muhammad. And I could see the blood of that innocent child in my hand, and I didn't want no part of it. I'm like, how many innocent lives have to be lost before we realize how wrong this is? That was the day I stopped. I stopped praying, I stopped fasting. I believed in God. But for me, Islam is the man and the book, so the man was down. But I still read Quran, because as a Muslim you believe Quran is a book of God and God is the author of the Quran, and I used to read it a lot when I'm in trouble, when I'm sad. It was a source for me, so I was like, what shall I do about this? But then I prayed to God that I would be looking for another religion. And the day, the new religion or the new relationship, that the way, the true God, when you will give me a reason to doubt Quran, that will be a sign from you that that's the true religion, and I'll follow that religion. So I started this quest of finding the religion, and my first stop was Judaism. I downloaded Old Testament copy online, and I started reading. It took me like a year and a half to finish it cover to cover. Very good religion. I found some differences, but I was still looking for the sign. Then I looked briefly into Buddhism, Hinduism, even Zoroastrianism. And fast forward to 2023, between that life happened, children and moving and all that. And with 2023, I was like, I need to continue with my quest of finding Lord. So I was like, let's look into Christianity. I've not looked into Christianity because as a Muslim, you think we believe in Jesus and he's a prophet, and you think you know everything about Christianity. But this time I was like, I will look into Christianity according to the Christian sources. And I've seen the cross and I've heard the Trinity, so I wanted to know what is Trinity. And for me, I didn't have to go dig deeper into this religion. Just by looking into Trinity, which is God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit was a brand new information for me. For me, I was like, wow, Holy Spirit. And you believe in God, and they believe in one God? And because in Islam, it's like God the Father, the Son, and the Mother. Because God said, why, Jesus, did you tell people to believe you and your mother? And Jesus would say, I didn't. So that was the first time it hit me that Quran got Christianity completely wrong. And there is error in it. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. Because when you turn, you can start seeing a lot of stuff. There is a lot of other errors in Quran, but one other thing which struck me the most was that Quran confused mother of Jesus, Mary, because in Arabic we don't have Mary, it's Maryam. So when you read Surah Maryam, it says, hey Mary, sister of Aaron, your family is so pious, then why did you do such an act to be pregnant before marriage? But Jesus' mother never had a brother Aaron. The Maryam, who had brother Aaron, also had a brother Moses, and she lived thousands of years before this Mary. This is like a big historical mistake which God, all-knowing, almighty, cannot make. So that was evident to me that Quran is not from God. And I had the proof about the true religion. So I'm seriously now considering to become Christian. So I turned it to this religious freak because I was like, when I'm becoming Christian, I have to answer to all my friends and family, why did I choose this religion and all that. So I'm watching videos. I've got the Bible, I'm reading Bible. I'm also seeing like testimonies of ex-Muslims and the Christians, the discussion between Tawheed and Trinity, and I'm also listening to David Wood, AP, Christian Prince, and all these Islamic critics, and each of them are bringing questions. And then I landed on this hadith, which was a turning point for me. I'll send the details of it. It is Sahih Bukhari Hadith 6805. The story is 3 men travel to meet Muhammad and they get sick. And Muhammad sends him they say like, go to this man, you will drink the camel's milk and you will feel better. So they did that, but after they felt better, they killed the man and they took his camel, and as they wanted to flee, Muhammad men arrest them and they bring him to Muhammad for judgment. Now I'm reading this and thinking like, what is he gonna do to them? Like, they killed, so is he gonna, but there are 3 and they killed 1 person, so is he gonna put them in prison and preach them and then they will become great? Or he's gonna beat them? What is he gonna do? And what I read, he says, cut their 1 leg and 1 feet from opposite side. Put hot iron in their eyes, leave them in a hot spot until they die. I read this and I stood up from my chair. I couldn't sit anymore. I'm walking around saying, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like freaking out. And when you do that, you have like cross-body experience. You can talk to yourself. And my other self is telling me, calm down, drama queen. I mean, People have done worse things than this. It's okay. And I'm like, but not prophet. I grew up reading prophet stories. Adam, Moses, Noah. Prophets don't torture people. This is wrong. And I'm thinking, I've been a Muslim for so long and I didn't know about this hadith. And I mean, they've done horrible stuff in Battle of Khaybar, but this one was new to me. So I'm like, what if Jesus prosecuted someone? Then I'm not going to become a Christian, if that's the case. So I quickly Googled, did Jesus prosecute anyone? And I see the story of this adulterous woman come. And I read this and I'm like, woman? So I open the story and I'm thinking the worst, like what's going to happen? And the story is that Pharisees always wanted to test Jesus. So they bring this adulterous woman to Jesus and they tell him, according to law of Moses, we should stone her to death. What does your law say? And Jesus say, whoever of you have not committed any sin in their life should cast the first stone. And he himself had never committed any sin in his life. If he wanted, he could have prosecuted her. But everybody else, they drop their stones because we are all sinners. Big or small, we have committed sins. So everybody leave, and Jesus saved her life. And then he said to her, go and sin no more. After reading that, I was on my knees, I'm crying, and I said, I will follow this man. I will follow everything he says. And I commit my heart and soul because he's good. And then I sent emails to all the churches, being baptized. And my friend Robert told me about this church, and I sent email, and then Caroline replied to my email. I came here, and I've been coming ever since. And today I'm here.
سكبت النعمة على شفتيك أنت أبرع جمال من كل بني البشر سكبت النعمة على شفتيك مشتهى الأمم رجاء الشعوب نور العالمين معلم بين ربوان الأبرع جمال مالكي وسيدي يسوع يسوع أبرع جمال من كل بني البشر سكت